God will not give you more than you can handle. Does the Bible actually teach us that? We know in 1 Corinthians 10:13 that he tells us that he will not tempt us beyond what we can bear and that he will give us a way out. We are, however, told that in this life you will have tribulation, but take cheer because he has overcome the world. Hi, my name is Amber, if you don't know me, and I'm what you call probably past mid-age, so I've lived a little bit of life. My husband and I struggled with infertility for 7 years, and during that time we got into an accident that left me paralyzed from the chest down. I have a traumatic brain injury that took me out of the workforce, and I'm blind in certain areas and have what you call visual cuts. My sister and I both lost our wonderful parents recently in a short period of time, close together. And I don't say all of that for sympathy, but I do say I have lived a little bit of life. So I know I'm speaking to somebody today, just knowing the people in my life, those that I love. We're all going through something, have just come out of something, been through something in our lives. And whether it's, disappointment upon disappointment, hurt upon hurt, bondage upon bondage, diagnosis upon diagnosis. There's so many things, or a conglomeration of many of them. So I don't know what you're going through today, but I really hope that you will watch to the end, because I've been really encouraged. It's crazy. I downloaded a book. It is called It's Not Supposed to Be This Way by Lysa TerKeurst. If you want the spelling of the name, it's kind of difficult. I'll give it to you. But anyway, I'm sure you can find it. There's a chapter that I read that just really spoke to me, and I'm hoping it will speak to you as well. The author was at a coffee shop, I believe, and she ran into two people who had just read one of her previous other books. And she was explaining to them what her new book was going to be about. And she said she had a revelation about dust from the Lord. And one of the gals got really excited and said, "Oh, wow." She says, "I have something to share with you." She said, "My mom is a professional potter." And she said that any professional or seasoned potter knows that when you're making a new piece, you take a broken piece of the previous pottery that had been made, and then you break it down into, keep in mind, it has to be perfectly broken down into a consistency. Now, if you break it down too fine, then the potter's not able to use it. It just won't form into anything. But if it's broken down too coarse, then all that clay is going to do is make that person's hands bleed while they're trying to form the pottery. So it has to be perfect. I guess it's called grog. Okay? So that person knows not to make it too fine, not to make it too coarse. It has to be just right. But when they get that consistency just right, the piece that they make can be even bigger. It will be even stronger. In fact, it can be put into the kiln at much hotter temperatures in order to make it into a even more beautiful piece. Is that speaking to you? It really spoke to me. So I guess that's called a potsherd. Sorry, I have something on my nose tickling me, but I don't want to stop this because I have so much to say, and I hope I do it justice based on what the author shared in her chapter. So there's two parts, there's two verses or areas in the Bible, I guess I should say, where it talks about pot shards. One of them is in Job 2, 7 through 10. I'm just going to paraphrase, but for those of you that know the Bible, know that Job went through an insane amount of pain in his life. He lost his entire family. He had sores inflicted upon him. Satan inflicted these sores, and that's what I'm going to talk about, because as he was sitting in the ashes, after all these things had happened to him, he took a pot shard, and Satan had inflicted him with sores from his top of his head to the soles of his feet. And he took that pot shard and he would scrape his sores with it. The other area of the Bible is Isaiah 45. I didn't write it down, 9 through something, but pretty much it says, "Woe to those who argue with their potter. Does the clay pot argue with its maker? Does the clay dispute with the one who shapes it, saying, 'Stop, you're doing it wrong'?" So essentially, who are we to tell God how He is to form us in this lifetime, to create us into the people He wills us to be, and ultimately who we want to be? See, God is not waiting for us to muster or rally enough strength to deal with the things that has been dealt to us in this life. He is waiting for us to completely give it to Him and to lay it at the master potter's feet. So all that I mentioned that has been a part of my story, those what are the pot shards of my life, even now I'm facing a Goliath, and I'm going to have to remind myself daily that if I simply surrender it to Him, He can make something bigger. He can make something stronger. He can make something more beautiful, and He can make me into something that's able to deal with the things of my life as they heat up and Satan attempts to destroy me. Only if we allow Him. So we have two choices. With those pot shards, we can allow them to lay on the ground and be a constant reminder of the pains that we have endured in our lives. We can pick them up and squeeze them in our hand and allow it to make us bleed. Or we can lay it at His feet and give it all to Him. I have realized that in my life, I have tried in my own flesh to believe that if I just control the circumstances, then I can skip the pain that I'm going to have to go through in order to avoid it, and believe that it's going to just end up being okay. But I'm really realizing that I, as the dust, Genesis tells us that Jesus takes the dust of the earth and forms us. As the dust, I need to allow the living water to take me and form me, no matter how painful. To make something stronger and more beautiful out of me. I don't want to do it. I will be honest and tell you that I am scared, but we know God does not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. This book I downloaded a long time ago. I don't know who even told me about it. But that just goes to showing how faithful Jesus is and how perfect his timing is. So I hope as you have watched this, that it'll speak to the recesses of your mind and heart and allow you to surrender it all to him, to give it to him. In that, though, we're also going to have to forgive, to really try hard to live in a way that's pleasing to the Lord. If you find yourself deceiving people, hurting yourself, not allowing yourself to be forgiven, you're not going to be able to be formed as Jesus wants to. So anyway, I have a lot of pages I wrote down here that I don't know that I shared it all, but I'm trusting in the Holy Spirit to work through me and to just hopefully speak to you. So with that said, I pray you are well. I've prayed for every person that watches this, that you will be blessed by it and that you will trust and have faith until your very last breath. Take care.